It's BBC Music Day across the country. 47 blue plaques are being unveiled today to mark venues and influential musicians, as voted for by listeners to BBC Local Radio. But what does music mean to the many children across Northamptonshire who are learning it at school?
I think it matters because, as we've said before, it takes stress away from school. If you just want to escape all your schoolwork, you can just come to a music group and you can just relax.
This morning we're looking at the state of music teaching in our schools, especially with arts funding being cut. Also in this half hour of the programme, local reaction to the resignation of Tim Farron as leader of the Liberal Democrats. And the first interview with Northamptonshire's newest Conservative MP, Andrew Lewer, elected for the Northampton South constituency last week. And we go back in time at Urchester Country Park.
But there's lots of benefits there. It might look like a sort of like wasteland at the time, but what it has done, it's exposed Jurassic geology and exposed 13 million years of that Jurassic geology.
Yes, Jurassic Park lives in Northamptonshire.
Northamptonshire's Breakfast with Stuart Linnell, BBC Radio Northampton.
And your calls and comments very welcome. I'll remind you again shortly how you can get in touch. 8:07 now. BBC Music Day then. Helen Blaby's programme at lunchtime today between midday and 3 will come live from Byfield as a plaque is unveiled to mark the contribution to music of the Northamptonshire-based folk singer Sandy Denny. It's one of 47 blue plaques to mark venues and influential musicians being unveiled around the country today. Therefore, we thought, let's look at the state of music education on BBC Music Day. In many parts of the country, it's in a pretty poor state. Schools strapped for cash are cutting back on the arts, but in Northamptonshire, it's said to be thriving. 21,000 children and young people take part in activities run by the Northamptonshire Music and Performing Arts Trust. BBC Radio Northampton's Willie Gilder has been talking to members of the Madrigalis choir at Northampton School for Girls.
I love it. It's just like a way to express yourself and you make new friends and it takes off the pressures of school and it's just fun to do.
It feels really good because it's we're just one big family. We've got different groups. We all have different levels of singing and it's really amazing when we all put it together because it just sounds really nice and with the harmonies and it's just really fun to be in as well.
Singing is a really good way to de-stress. So me with my A-levels, singing is a great way to have some relief from it.
So there's a big emphasis on music in this school. Does that matter to you?
Yeah, I think that was one of the main reasons that I chose to put NSG first on my application form because music's always been important to me and it was just... There's so many music groups and so many people have music lessons. I think over 400 people.
So as well as singing in the choir, what else do you do?
I'm in a church choir, St Matthew's Church Choir outside of school, and I play the piano. I'm doing my grade 4.
I'm in 2 county choirs out of school, County Youth Choir and County Senior Girls Choir, and I also play the piano. I'm working towards my grade 5, and then I have singing in Madrigalis and have singing lessons and things as well.
Do you fit in the maths homework as well?
Yeah, I still manage to do everything that I need to do because it's some people, if on their free time, they would go on their phones or they would go out with their friends and stuff, but I go to choir and meet my friends there and have fun there.
I play piano and I do musical theatre class at a place called Unit 17, which is really fun.
So musical theatre, what's your favourite musical?
I like High School Musical.
Yes.
and you've been doing musicals in the school, I understand?
Yeah, our latest one has been We Will Rock You. I was going to be in that, but then I broke my foot, so I couldn't.
Oh dear, you can't do the stomping bit, can you? And what about you?
As well as Madrigalis, I'm in the concert band at NSG and also the county concert band at NMPAT and the county youth choir. So it's quite a lot of groups, but they all really help with
So what instrument do you play?
The flute, yeah.
Why does it matter to learn about music?
Because everybody listens to music and if you find something you love and appreciate it, you should always express it.
I think it matters because, as we've said before, it takes stress away from school. If you just want to escape all your schoolwork, you can just come to a music group and you can just relax and then you can then when you get back, you've refreshed your mind.
Well, there's Willie Gilder talking to members of the Madrigalis Choir at Northampton School for Girls. Chief Executive of NPAT is Peter Smalley, who's with me in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning, Stuart.
Thanks for coming in. State of music education in the county, then something to be proud of?
The state of music in this county is something very much to be proud of. But the headline here is that music in English schools is dying. And that's true. It's a really sad state of affairs, but it's something that people need to know about, because the only way we're going to change this is through parent pressure. Now, I know as soon as I say that, there are going to be people shouting at their radios saying, but music in my child's school's really good, and music in our local school's fantastic. What's he talking about? And we've heard this morning from students from Northampton School for Girls and Spon School talking passionately about how important music is for them. And those are two of the many schools that we've got in this county where music is thriving. But even in those schools, it is being squeezed and it's more difficult.
Your passion for it shines through and is obvious to anybody listening to you this morning. But there will be people saying, OK, music's important, but look at all the other pressures that we have for public funds.
Oh, and absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why our music service here in Northampton became an independent charitable trust 5 years ago. So we were a county, part of the county council. We were a county service for the first 42 years of our existence. And it was a great and wonderful thing because the county helped us establish this fantastic tradition here in Northamptonshire. But squeezes on public funding meant that there were things that the county had to do, and it didn't have to retain a music service. Now, fortunately for us, they were sufficiently enlightened here in Northamptonshire to help us find a future for ourselves as an independent organisation, rather than keeping us within the council and gradually squeezing us and cutting us until we disappeared.
Is this a model that other parts of the country could follow?
Well, this is a model that other parts of the country are following. And since we became an independent charitable trust, I've had a stream of colleagues from all over the country, literally all over the country, come to visit us here in Northampton to find out what we did, how we did it, and how they can possibly learn from it.
Let's talk as well, if we may, to someone who visits Northampton regularly, Head of Community and Education for the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, Ruth Curry, who's joining us on the line now. Ruth, good morning to you. How important is music education as far as you're concerned?
Music education is the key of what we do in our community and education programme to underpin the work of the orchestra all around the country. And as you know, we have a residency at the Royal and Derngate that's been going for over 20 years, actually. So part of our programme is forming partnerships with the Music Education Hub and people like Peter and NPAT to see how we can take the impact of our orchestra into the communities and education settings. The RPO are also one of a number of national and high-profile arts organisations who support NPAT and the Hub work on the strategic partners meetings, and we work together to see where those sort of areas of cold spots or weak spots are, to check that we can all provide adequate music education opportunities for all children and young people.
And you endorse what Peter's saying about the Northamptonshire model, if you like, being copied elsewhere in the country?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Northamptonshire are a good model for best practice, and people do come down, as Peter says, for consultancy. And there are other models of really interesting practice around the UK. There's a Donut in Manchester, and the South Coast have got some really great, strong music hubs. But not everyone has the same resources around the UK, and not everyone has the same local authority support, as I'm sure Peter will endorse as well. So it's a really different picture depending on where you're lucky enough to live. Our residents in Northamptonshire are really lucky, and music is thriving. We've been in many schools and education settings across the county over the years, and it is a strong area for music and music making.
Ruth, thank you very much indeed for joining us this morning. That's Ruth Curry, Head of Community and Education at the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, regular visitors, as she says, to the Royal and Derngate. I guess, Peter Smalley, that one question, which is the opposite to the question I normally ask people about when they're sitting in front of me on this programme, is what's gone right? Because you certainly seem to have done it right, don't you?
Well, there's all sorts of things in the mix that have been part of the success story here in Northamptonshire. A big part of it is history, tradition, momentum, and the fact that over a long period of time the County Council set up something which was valued by the schools and which was operating at an extremely high level and recognised nationally. And then I'm going to pay tribute to my predecessor, Peter Dunkley, who was head of the service for over 20 years. Peter was preparing for the day when we should become an independent organisation away from the County Council throughout his tenure as the head of service. And he put in place all of the things that we needed to ensure our survival. And since then, since I have been head of the trust, I see it as my job, my duty, to ensure that these opportunities for children and young people are preserved in this county.
But your warning this morning is unless we do maintain vigilance, it could disappear.
We have to maintain vigilance all the time. School budgets are being squeezed. School curriculum time is being squeezed. People are looking at other things, thinking that they're more important and thinking that somehow they can sideline music for a bit and pick it up later. If you lose this, we lose it forever.
Peter, thank you very much for coming in. Good to see you this morning. Peter Smalley, the Chief Executive of the Northamptonshire Music and Performing Arts Trust. It's 16 minutes past 8.
This is BBC Radio Northampton.